a lot to look forward to. We picked up some rain overnight, and so we're gauging how this weather will be over the next 24, 48 hours with Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos. We'll get to her in just a second. And we also have a live interview this morning about Medicare enrollment. And that is something, maybe you or some loved ones or friends are dealing with right now. So we are getting some answers and some tips on how to figure out how to enroll, which plan's right for you and your needs. We'll be talking to some professionals from Health First about all that a little bit later. But let's get a check of that weather before you head out and check of traffic. And Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos is here. And I really like this forecast, how it's shaping up heading into tomorrow, Candace.
So did you have a nice couple of days off? Were you able to enjoy the outdoors?
I did. I really did. A few sprinkles here and there. I put the inflatables out. They got wet overnight. Hopefully they still work when I plug them out, tonight. But it was good. We're just burning that vacation time off because use it or lose it, right?
Oh, that's absolutely so good. I'm glad. Sometimes those random vacation days you kind of like sprinkle around are kind of the best ones.
Yeah, you get things done.
You do. Kids are at school. It's great. Well, welcome back. We missed you.
Thanks.
The weather is going to continue to shape up to be pretty nice even as we head into Halloween. Now, the good news is all the rain and that concern is on kind of the back burner now. It's on the rear view mirror, I should say. As rain chances yesterday were up to about 30%, hence why you were talking about those scattered showers. We all kind of saw a little sprinkle or two with those. But as we head into the rest of your Wednesday and into Thursday, conditions are going to be much drier, looking good for trick-or-treaters.
Good.
So let's take it to the map, Bridget. Yeah, so just a nice setup. It is going to be breezy, though, for the afternoon today. Wind gusts already picking up to about 30 miles per hour along our coastline. It will be drier. Temperatures running just above average. Not as comfortable as the last couple of days, but still feel nice. There's no 90s in the forecast, thankfully. As we head into Halloween, spectacular forecast. The evening, though, will be into those 70s. And more of the scarier thing is when we have to talk about tropics. So let's get that done first. Nothing scary just yet. We are still watching this. This has been watching this area is like watching paint dry. It's been so slow. Models just are so confused. They don't know where it's going. The development's a little more delayed than many of the models were anticipating. So as of right now, the National Hurricane Center for the past 3 days holding it at 40% of developing in the next 7 days, okay? And it is an area that doesn't exist yet. It will eventually start to develop. Now, the confidence is high that something will come out of this area, okay? So what that will be, how strong will it be, where will it go, all of that big old question mark. I don't love putting question marks on forecasts, but in this case, there is quite a lot of uncertainty. So for instance, if you think about a big ridge of high pressure, we kind of just plop that right over Florida, that's going to push the system possibly further towards the west, possibly a stronger storm. But if a cold front comes through, it's actually going to do the opposite. Weaker storm favoring east. Some computer models keep fluctuating even from their own model run to model run, taking it to an Atlantic, more of a Gulf Coast thing. So with that being said, it's just an area we need to be watching. It's not something to be too concerned about. It's going to take several days to finally start seeing a clearer picture, and we really won't see that until it finally develops, which is not expected to at least until about this weekend, early next week. In the meantime, though, breezy conditions along our coastline, winds picking up between 25 to 30 miles per hour today. Same story as we head into your Thursday, so a breezy start to your Halloween. Although it looks like it's going to be pretty nice, though, into the evening hours on Thursday. With that breeze in place, we do have a high risk of rip currents. We have a high surf advisory, small craft advisory. So all of these advisories should be up and in effect for the next few days, even throughout Friday. Clouds remain forecast, still showing a few in and out clouds, Bridget, just maybe a few little speckles there. We're going to hold those rain chances at about 20% today. But again, with that strong breeze, you can't rule out the chance of some of those fast moving showers. That's going to be the same story for Thursday, but I stopped the clock here around 7 p.m. tomorrow night, kind of that, crucial trick-or-treating time zone there around 7. You can see most Central Florida looking mostly dry, partly cloudy skies looking good. Afternoon forecast for today, 85 will be your high. Clouds will be around, mild evening with temperatures not as warm as today, but still slightly above average into the upper 60s. As you look at your spooky forecast for Halloween, ghosts and goblins by between about 6 and 8 o'clock, temperatures will be cooling down into those upper 70s. And as we get results here, your full 7-day forecast, keeping that trend in place, there could be a weak front that will try to make its way in come Saturday and Sunday, regardless if it does or not. It's just kind of reinforcing that big ridge of high pressure and control. Expecting a lot more of the same until further notice. But yeah, hurricane season continues to run till the end of November. That means today it is officially 1 month until we can say goodbye to hurricane season. But with that being said, that area in the Caribbean, although it is not something we want to talk about, we still have to. When you saw those two arrows, it either goes east or west. Central Florida, we're kind of in that middle. So with all that uncertainty, it would just be wise for you to keep coming back, checking in. We will let you know whenever we finally start getting some sort of consistency to be able to give you information.
You said, how long do you think before you'll get a better picture?
I mean, some models aren't even developing the system until like early next week. So we're still, yeah.
Let's get through the weekend. So
yeah, check to see how that system develops now, because some computer models are developing a low far to the east, some develop it farther to the west. So if once we finally figure out where that initial point is of that center, then we'll be able to kind of get those computer models in place and kind of get a better idea. But it's not just the system we're trying to figure out. It's also the high, and where's that low, and how strong will it be, and how fast will it come in. All those, that's what makes the October, November forecasting a little interesting, to say the least. But
yeah, and it's been very breezy too. Like you talked about those conditions out at the beaches and everything. It's like everything's churned up and it's windy. We're getting some inland breezes too. So
we do, yeah. It's gonna be nice. So at least for Halloween, and as we ring in Thanksgiving month, it's gonna be good. Not too hot, not too cold, just right.
Great. All right. Well, thank you, Candace.
You're welcome.
All right. So we do want to get ready to get out on the roads. We had sort of a messy morning traffic wise because we did have a little bit of slick roads out there. Not to say that that's why it was sort of a rough traffic morning, but traffic safety expert Trooper Steve is here, and you are rolling out. And it was a little bit busy this morning on the roads.
Yeah, it popped off right around 6 a.m., got really busy out of nowhere. But I do think people assumed that they just don't pay attention. Let's just call it what it is. They didn't realize that Candace's forecast was pinpoint accurate. And we did have some of those storms, kind of, not storms, little rain kind of cruise through. And even I was surprised when I woke up this morning. I was like, wait, it rained.
Is that
so people had to be careful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I heard the pitter patter when I was getting in the shower. I was like, something's going on outside.
It's like, this would be nice to just hit snooze.
Yes, ma'am. I snoozed really bad this morning. So let's go to the roads, because the drive time is kind of high, even though they cleared the crash out. So Champions Gate to downtown, we're looking at almost a 45-minute drive right now. And that's real time, guys. So if you're watching us wherever we're at, just understand the delays are there. This is the crash that is causing those delays. Eastbound I-4 Central Florida Parkway. The crash is gone, most of it. There may be 3 cars on the left shoulder. So this is just that morning commute mixed with that bog down out there. People just need to be careful. I do have a traffic light still out at John Young and Millennia Boulevard. But your east and westbound traffic, it's high in both directions, guys. Look at this. From 417 to downtown, 41 minutes right now, and 33 from the opposite direction. So it's busy out there this morning. And to Bridget's point, if you're watching us on YouTube or wherever at, it is, you can never predict this stuff. So Pleasant Hill, 1792, slow along Neptune as well. And then northbound Narcoossee, we have a crash at 417 that is just locking us down right now past the Boggy Creek area. So Bridget, to your point, not the best morning for traffic out there. And I've got a guy right now in front of me that is just blocking the entire intersection with his flatbed truck because he decided to make a mistake and make it everybody else's problem. All right, he fixed it. Anyways, I will be in Celebration 10 a.m. this morning. cruising around, just because I love that community. They always do
Yeah.
really cool stuff during the holidays.
They're festive.
Whether it's Halloween, very festive, whether it's Christmas or whatever you celebrate, and then during a Halloween, always something going on. So I thought it was a great community to choose to drive around it, so we can talk about some pedestrian safety when it comes to Halloween. So today, 10 a.m., clickorlando.com, News 6 Plus, YouTube, join me, and we'll talk about some things.
Okay, cool. That should be a fun dash cam video to watch. See some of the decorations,
we'll have a good time.
too. All right, see you then, Steve. Thanks.
See ya.
All right. We want to get to a few headlines this morning, and then we'll come back and talk about Medicare enrollment with Health First. But first, news of a student arrest based on some disturbing information here from Osceola County. A 17-year-old was arrested, facing charges after threatening to shoot up Poinciana High School. Investigators say they went to talk to the teen. They found a stolen gun. They found ammo. And they say a tip through the Fortify Florida app, which the district encourages students to use to report anything suspicious anonymously, led them to that suspect. And they're crediting that tip for possibly preventing tragedy at the school. The teen's facing several charges, including grand theft and possession of a firearm, and is currently being held without bond. But again, that app, Fortify Florida, is what deputies credit for getting that tip that led them to making that discovery. And a bail bondsman is in jail this morning, expected to face a judge today. News 6's Troy Campbell has more on this. A big investigation into this bail bondsman, but it's including charges of human trafficking. But Troy Campbell will explain more about what happened. But this is one of Central Florida's biggest offices for bail bonds.
So we're standing outside the Moncrief Bail Bond office in Orlando. You can see just how close it is to the Orange County Jail. It's just across the street. Now, investigators say in the jail it was common knowledge you could exchange sexual favors for a bond. The Metropolitan Bureau of Investigation announcing Tuesday the arrest of Moncrief Bail Bonds owner Bruce Moncrief on charges of human trafficking and racketeering. Following a raid in July at his Orlando, Kissimmee, and Cocoa offices, federal investigators say a multi-year investigation has confirmed, quote, female inmates are having sex with Moncrief in exchange for being bonded out without putting any money down, and in some cases are being bonded out without a cosigner, adding, Moncrief takes advantage of females' desperation and vulnerability. 90% of the girls in there are just trying to get back out to that needle, just trying to get back out to that fix, and he definitely monopolizes off of that. Investigators also say they trace Moncrief's personal cell phone to several hundred outgoing calls from here inside the Orange County Jail. In the calls, they say the female inmates use code words to secure a release. Agents say they even surveilled Moncrief during some of these meetups. They tracked him to a Waffle House, a Denny's, a motel, and even a Brevard County business office, where investigators say these pictures were taken, showing a bed in one of the rooms. In the report, one woman claims she was just 17 years old the first time Moncrief sexually abused her about 10 years ago, in exchange for bonding out one of her friends. She and other victims claim Moncrief frequently spoke to pimps, adding, quote, the conversations have been about Moncrief bonding out females on behalf of pimps with the expectation of having sexual intercourse with females working for those pimps. Since Moncrief owns one of the largest bail bond companies in Central Florida, investigators believe there are more victims out there, and they urge for them to contact MBI. He remains in the Seminole County Jail without bond. In Orange County, Troy Campbell, Getting Results, News 6.
All right, thank you, Troy. We're just 6 days away now from results 2024, and Vice President Harris delivered what her campaign calls a closing argument in a big speech last night. But this morning, comments made by President Biden have the White House on the defensive. News 6's Angie Quesada has more.
It's a response to the controversy over remarks made by a comedian at a Trump rally, referring to Puerto Rico as a, quote, floating island of garbage that have now gotten President Biden into hot water.
The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
The White House moved quickly to try and backtrack, saying he was referring to rhetoric, not Trump supporters. Meanwhile, Vice President Kamala Harris promised to put country above party as she spoke to thousands of supporters in Washington, in the same spot where Trump rallied his supporters before the 2021 riot at the Capitol.
We know who Donald Trump is. He is the person who stood at this very spot nearly 4 years ago and sent an armed mob to the United States Capitol to overturn the will of the people in a free and fair election.
The Harris campaign called the speech her closing argument, designed to strike a contrast between the candidates. But during a speech in Pennsylvania yesterday, the former president says he's the one with the momentum.
Next Tuesday, you have to stand up and you have to tell Kamala that you've had enough. You're not going to take it anymore.
All right, that was Angie Casada reporting. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with Health First to talk about Medicare enrollment. Keep it here. Welcome back. We want to talk about open enrollment this morning for Medicare. It is something that maybe you're facing or your loved ones or friends are dealing with right now. And sometimes it can be a lot to figure out. That's why we have some answers this morning. Denitza Hernandez, who is the Director of Medicare Sales, and Latoya Bogner-Jones, who is the Medicare Broker Sales Liaison for Health First, joining us this morning with all we need to know to get ready for enrollment. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is something that it gives us a chance to sort of tailor our needs, but sometimes people can be a little intimidated about the process. So we have a lot of things to get to this morning. What is like one of the top questions that you get about annual enrollment?
Yeah, so one of the top questions that we get about annual enrollment is, when does it begin? The annual enrollment period began October 15th, and it runs through December 7th, and the plans begin on January 1st.
Okay, and so if someone misses those dates, what happens? Can they still get it, or is there a way to, maybe?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. How does that
So
work?
if someone misses those days, what happens is, if they have a qualifying event, Medicare does grant special enrollment periods. For instance, if someone moves outside of their service area and out of their county into another service area, Medicare does allow them the opportunity to enroll into a plan in their existing service area where they've moved to. If a beneficiary loses employer coverage, they are also, they qualify for a special enrollment period where they can enroll into a Medicare Advantage plan as well.
Okay, and so how does someone know if they're eligible for it or which plan is right for them?
Yep. So right now we're in the annual enrollment period, and this is the annual period of time where Medicare eligible beneficiaries can add, change, or drop their Medicare coverage. Most seniors that are over the age of 65 are already eligible for Medicare Parts A and Part B, which are through the government, and they cover them for hospitalization, physician services, outpatient services, and medical equipment. But it might not necessarily meet all of their health and wellness needs. They're still required to have a plan that covers Part D, which is their prescription drug coverage as well. Part C plans, which are the Medicare Advantage plans, like what we offer here at Health First, is a comprehensive plan that includes all of the benefits covered under original Medicare, their prescription drug coverage, and also additional benefits that Medicare doesn't cover, such as vision, dental, hearing, and over-the-counter benefits. During this time, seniors can look around at different plans, checking their supplemental benefits and premium options to find the best coverage that meets their particular healthcare needs.
Okay, and so if you already have an Advantage plan that you like, do you need to do anything during open enrollment, or does it just roll over?
Yeah, if you're happy with your plan, the plan will roll over in 2025, but we do ask beneficiaries, you want to make sure that you're taking a look at the information that your insurance carrier sends you. You want to make sure that you're reviewing the cost, the provider network, and things like that to make sure that the plan still works for you. Every year your insurance changes and your health changes as well, so you want to make sure that you're enrolled in a plan that meets your needs.
Okay, and we talked about if maybe you moved, but what about if you're just traveling, if you're planning to be traveling abroad or traveling quite a bit, as retirees tend to do? How does that affect your coverage?
Yeah, that's the most common question that we get. And there's a misconception that, for instance, if you're on a Medicare Advantage plan, you're tied into that local plan's network and you aren't covered if you travel. Our plans that we offer here at Health First Health Plans has options that include coverage to go out of network to see providers that aren't a part of our network here in Central Florida. And all of our plans cover you worldwide for urgent care and emergent care.
Okay, and so the Health First plans based in Brevard County, does that mean, for instance, only folks that are in Brevard County can sign up or can only receive care from a Health First provider? How does that work?
Sure. We offer plans in Brevard County, Indian River County, Volusia, and Flagler. We have plans in Hardy, Highlands, Lake Orange, and Seminole County as well. And on top of that, all of our members have access to providers in 10 counties across Central Florida.
Okay, so that's a broad area of coverage.
Absolutely. And there's no referrals required to see a specialist. I have to throw that in as well.
Oh, that's great. And so it is a lot of information, like we said, when it comes to enrollment. Do you have tools to help walk people through that, or, people standing by? Do you have different ways that people can sort of gauge what they need to do?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're on Medicare or if you're new to Medicare, you can give us a call. We have experts here at the Health First Health Plans that can help you to review your benefits and really find a plan that suits your needs. And we're also wanted to mention, we're excited to share that Health First Health Plans ranked in the top 10, 91st percentile of all Medicare Advantage plans in the United States. So we are rated a 4.5 out of 5 star with Medicare CMS. So we're excited to announce that for 2025.
Yeah, congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Especially these days. So I would imagine that comes from customer satisfaction.
Absolutely.
All right, great. So how can we get in contact if we want to follow up and dig in and get more of the specific details on the plans and the options to add on?
Yes, we're excited. We're ready to take your calls. If you've got questions on benefits or enrolling in a Medicare Advantage plan, or even if there's just a ton of information that you're receiving and you'd like assistance navigating through that information, give us a call. Our telephone number is 689-303-4837. We've got a website, www.hf.org/Medicare. We're open 7 days a week right now from October 1st to March 31st. From 8 to 8 p.m. And then outside of that time frame, starting April 1st through September 30th, we're open Monday through Friday from 8 to 8 p.m. and then on Saturdays from 8 to noon.
All right, wonderful. So we'll be posting this. And ladies, we appreciate your time this morning helping us get some more information about Medicare enrollment.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, have a great day.
You as well.
Too.
And you know what? Speaking of health, the flu shots, flu season, it's upon us. One of my babysitters is sick right now. It's really that time of year where, maybe we're staying in more, the germs are going around, and so doctors are urging everyone to get vaccinated. And News 6 is teaming up with CentraCare once again to offer free flu shots. The event will be Monday, November 11th at the facility along West 1st Street in Sanford. And we're going to have some other events on the 13th and 14th in Orlando on University Boulevard and Claremont on East Highway 50. So we hope that you can stop by between 2 and 5 at one of those locations coming up on November 11th. 13th and 14th. Of course, we'll have all these details posted for you on clickorlando.com as well. And before we go, we'll take you to a special haunted house in Orlando. You know that we have many places where you can see some wonderful displays. Maybe there's one just right in your neighborhood. So in this one, our photojournalist DJ McCatherine shows us how an Orange County couple did their love of Disney as their Halloween theme in their decor this year at home.
I'm Kara.
I'm Mike. This is our home, and we've decorated it to bring some nostalgia for Haunted Mansion and the graveyard scene from it. The first Haunted Mansion piece we came across was the Hitchhiking Ghost. Kind of fell in love with that decor piece and then wanted to expand on the collection from there. 2021 is when I really started putting stuff out, and then 22 we really started building everything. We wanted to start decorating, try to get that feeling back and inject this area with that kind of seasonal atmosphere.
Anytime that we see something that looks neat, we're kind of like, all right, can we add this to where could this go? Can we add it in?
He's new, we just added him this year. We want to try to bring back the joy we had while we were kids. Everybody knows Halloween Horror Night. That kind of an audience skips the kids. The Haunted Mansion itself is that PG version, or even that G version of the same thing. You get the creepiness, that the little 4-year-old's not going to run away from screaming. We find it important for the kids to get out and get involved because it really attaches them to the community and the time of year. Seeing communities get invested in that kind of atmosphere is important.
Getting to do this for the holidays, it breaks that day-to-day 9 to 5 that the rest of the year gives, and it gives that like, no, I get to actually be like differently creative. And I love that we were able to incorporate your family's old decorations of that little skeleton guy that's in pieces and the little zombie over here. Those were originally decorations that we were kind of contemplating throwing out because we just didn't know what to do with them. And then we kind of went, you know, they kind of work.
Next year, I know our focus is going to be more on the pumpkin patch side of the yard since we invested so much in upgrading the graveyard for the last 2 years. The graveyard will get a couple new things next year, but not as much as it did this year. Happy Halloween!
That is so cute. I think that is on Tamarind Circle, is that right, in Orlando, if you want to go check that out in person. But definitely looking forward to all the fun costumes and all the candy coming up tomorrow. And my favorite day is the day after when all the candy's on sale. But anyway, we are out of time, and we hope that you'll join us a little bit later today at noon for News 6 at noon, and I'll see you back here in the morning. Well, no, I won't. I won't be here, but we'll see you for more breakfast tomorrow at 7:30. Have a great day.